a big shot unless we talking about hip-hop. Bad at TikTok, but I'll make movies like Hitchcock. Challenge Mitch, you'll barely make it like trick shots. Check your wristwatch, it's time for you all to quit. Stop trying me. I'ma be honest, I'm pretty glad no labels eyeing me. I'm independent and I don't want nobody buying me.
Yo, what up everybody, this is Mitch Darrell, and today, if you didn't think we could wear out a topic any more than we already have, you were wrong. We're gonna do a whole nother video on what Jackie Hill Perry said, and don't be mad at me, be mad at the people who requested it, because a couple of people, well, to be fair, a couple of people didn't request it, but they asked me a question, and I said I would answer in video form, because that's what I do. Disclaimer, it's been thunderstorming here for a little bit. I think it's calming down, but this video may get cut short, and it's really funny that I'm telling you guys this right now as if this is live, because duh, if you're seeing this right now, then of course the video got made, and if you're not seeing it, then I'm talking to myself, but I like to be stupid. So anyway, if you've been living under a rock, Jackie Hill Perry 4, 5, 6 days ago now had an interview with Rapzilla a couple days before that, I think, with Justin Sarachik, and Justin hit her with a surprise question and said, who are your top 5 lyricists in CHH? And Jackie promptly said, well, not promptly, she said, and she said, I don't think there's a lot of lyricism in CHH, so it's hard to name 5. And you would think that she denounced Christianity. Like, it just blew up the space because CHH is small and a real fun place where news spreads quickly. And so all types of different posts and thoughts and opinions kind of got made off of that. And it was really entertaining. Some people seemed to take offense. Some people were confused. Some people were like, what? You can't name 5? Some people agreed. There was like, yeah, there's no lyricism in CHH. It's corny and whack and it's all trap and mumble. And other people, a lot of us artists were like, there's tons of lyricism. You just got to look for it. Where you been? It might not be the most popular or on the biggest playlist, but there's tons of lyricism. So I did a post on Instagram and I said, I want to add some positivity, so I just said, people tag any CHH artist that you feel is lyrical, is a lyricist, and that post did really well, and a lot of people got tagged, and a lot of people found out about other artists they didn't know about. But a question I got a couple times under that post was, well, let's define lyricism. What does lyricism mean? And I had many different conversations in the many different chats I'm in that showed me that people don't exactly know what lyricism is. And I want to, before I start, I want to say, I don't consider myself to be like an expert necessarily at anything. This whole YouTube channel, like, so I know a while back somebody asked, like, what makes you qualified? Like, the thing that qualifies me to talk about anything is God made me. I have a camera. I have a YouTube channel, and I speak about the stuff that I have some knowledge about. I rap. I listen to rap. I react and review rap. I listen to all different types of rap and have for, how old am I now? 28. Close to 15 years now, and all of that, I believe I have some type of opinion. You can take it with a grain of salt. You don't have to. I'm not trying to be the standard or end all be all, but a mixture of stuff I've learned, stuff I've done personally. I just feel like I know some stuff. I have something to say about it. So what is lyricism? So as we usually do, let's start with Webster's. Let's see what the dictionary actually is. This dictionary.com. Honestly, this is just the first thing that comes up when you type in lyricism on Google. So verbatim, lyricism, noun, an artist's expression of emotion in an imaginative, let's start over. Lyricism, noun, an artist's expression of emotion in an imaginative and beautiful way, the quality of being lyrical. And then example, the lush lyricism of the adagio, I'm an idiot, sections of the second movement. Anyway, so that didn't tell us much, right? But it did say imaginative, and it did say expression of emotion. So when people say lyrical, I'm learning that not everybody knows what that means. So I will say, first I'll start with what lyricism is not. All the music that you hear that you typically call a vibe or kind of wavy, and you don't really care about what the person's saying. You're more so in it for you can rap or sing along and not even really know the words. You're just kind of like in it for the vibe and the way the words kind of sound together, the sonics of it all. Obviously that's not lyrical. A lot of trap is that way. A lot of music that I like actually is that way. Very wavy, more so focused on the vibe, the bop, background music, stuff that you don't really have to listen hard to the words for. You can almost fill them in with literal mumbling and it's still gonna hit just as hard. And I like that type of music. There's a time and place for it. It's very popular nowadays, right? lyrical rappers are rappers who put a lot into what it is they're saying and how they're saying it. There's a goal specifically with the words. Now, I think there are levels when it comes to this. Some artists do it in different ways as well. So there's a lot of different ways to be lyrical is what I'm saying. So the way that I believe myself to be a lyrical rapper, and I feel lame saying that, but a lot of people tagged me because they believe me to be. I don't just consider myself that with no support. But I'm a very specific type of lyrical. I am similar to the type of lyrical that a lot of people believe, well, a lot of people know Jay Monty to be. Very punchline, wordplay, kind of witty, dad jokey almost type of lyrical. I love punchlines. I will say it again. I love punchlines. Stuff that's almost kind of cheesy if you just say it in sentence form. I remember Lauren had tweeted, he said, punchlines are low-key just dad jokes. And I was like, that makes so much sense because I love dad jokes and punchlines. Stuff that is very specific on the end of the line is going to be kind of like a little joke, something to make you think, something that you can connect in that way, right? That's one way of being lyrical. Another way of being lyrical that is almost nothing like punchlines is storytelling. Being able to use your words and rhyme them, obviously, and paint a vivid picture of what you're saying. A story, walk somebody through a whole story beginning to end, or be able to bring somebody to where it is you're describing in your raps, right? Literally paint a picture in the person's mind using words, right? Because of that, it's very important for you to hear what is being said. The lyrics matter in that. Being able to tell a story from beginning to end, or being able to describe a place and get somebody to feel like they're there. The words are going to matter there. The vibe plays a part, but it's mainly going to be the words that do that. Then, of course, and this is where my communication degree comes in handy. Not that I use that a lot, but I do know a lot about figurative language. So different metaphors, being able to, again, comparing two things without like or as is metaphors, and just comparing two things in a creative way, in a creative and unique way, or similes, same thing, only using like or as. Being able to do that in your raps it takes a level of being lyrical, because you can't just accidentally write a metaphor that makes sense or a simile that makes sense. You're genuinely having to think about what you are saying. And again, keep in mind, you're having to rhyme through all of this, right? So there's many different ways. There's different rhyming patterns. Having to again, say something that makes sense, but you're focused on either the end rhymes or the internal rhyme. All of these things, you have to be some level of a lyrical rapper who genuinely cares about the words that are being said and how you're using them, right? I think the thing that people get caught up on is the top of the top level of elite pens, right? So Justin, when he started talking to Jackie, he said, you have an elite pen, you're an elite lyricist, and you can be humble about it, but we know it to be true, right? And then he goes, who are your top 5 lyricists in CHH? I think that automatically made her think, okay, who's somebody I believe has an elite pen in CHH? I think that's a completely different conversation than, is there lyricism in CHH? Are there lyrical rappers? Doing my show, I'm almost at 400 Indie Reaction Review episodes. There are rappers who nobody has really heard of, who I didn't know until they submitted to my show, who are lyrical and in Christian hip hop doing an indie, who not that many people know, but they prioritize lyricism. They are trying to paint pictures with the words. They are using punchlines. They are using metaphors. They are finding creative ways to write things, flipping words, having fun with words, saying things in very unique ways. And they might have dope beats too, but they really genuinely care about the raps, right? Just because they're not super known or popular doesn't mean they're not in CHH. That's a whole different conversation about what's the most popular right now in hip hop in general. Lyricism is less popular now than it used to be because there's so many different things happening, so many wavier, more chill vibe, bop type things, which is cool. Lyricism gets overlooked, but there's still a lot of it. I don't know if I could give you a percentage, but the conversation turned into there's not very much, and that is untrue. You just have to look for it, and I get it. People don't want to have to do that. We could have a deeper conversation about why it's harder to find lyricism, and listen, you can go under my Instagram post from the other day and look at some of those names. And here's what I'll say, some of the names that people put showed me that not everybody knows what lyricism is or what a lyrical rapper is. Because again, to rap, you're going to have some things, unless you're just completely a mumble rapper who doesn't care about what they're saying ever. If you're a rapper, you're going to have some lines or some songs every once in a blue moon that say something or use words in a creative way or have a bar in there. But to be a lyrical rapper, you have to do that consistently. You have to be somebody who I could listen to multiple of your songs or albums and be like, yo, he's doing that in this song, he's doing this in this song, he's doing that. The reason I consider myself lyrical is if you hear a Mitch Darrell verse that doesn't have at least several punchlines or some type of witty kind of dad jokey something in it, is probably not my verse, or I just really didn't want to write the verse. I do that because I've done that for years now. It is my favorite thing to do. I have to think of those things in order to write a verse. If I can't think of it, then I won't do the verse. You know what I'm saying? And Jay Monty's the same. Have you ever heard a Jay Monty verse that doesn't have some of those lines that you can quote that are really, you're like, whoa, that was witty. How did he come up with that? How did he, that's a real different way to kind of put words, No big deal. Same thing. Most of Indie Tribe. A lot of TLS, pretty much everybody in TLS, I believe, is a lyricist in some way, shape, or form. There's very few that I don't think are consistently lyrical, right? So again, it's a conversation about what exactly do you mean by lyrical, what type, in what way is somebody lyrical, and then to what extent or to what level. Because again, I'm very punchline driven. I do believe I can use lyricism in other ways, but I definitely use punchlines as a crutch, right? I fall back on that typically. That's another conversation. But I know my guy Jared Sanders he's a very lyrical rapper. I think he has an elite pen, and he can employ a lot of different not styles, but types of lyricism. He different rhyme patterns, painting pictures easily, storytelling, punchlines, metaphors, extended metaphors, all of that. He can do a lot of that, right? All while rhyming in different speeds, telling a story, different vibes, different bobs, tempos, all that, right? To have an elite pen is somebody who can use all of that, use a lot of that, and often, right? That's a different conversation. If somebody says that there's not a lot of elite pens in CHH, I think I'd be more inclined to agree with that, just because that's the nature of something, of being elite at something. There's not going to be a whole ton of it. But lyricism, I promise you there's a lot of it. I said that the other day on Nerd Proper XL's post. There's a lot of it, I promise. You just got to look for it and then figure out what it is you are looking for exactly. I was talking to C4 today, and he said we got all types of stuff in CHH, all different types of vibes. You just have to know what it is that you're looking for specifically. And if you want somebody who is punchline driven, I promise I could give you a list of about 10 right now. If you want somebody who's very storytelling, if you want somebody who's boom bap, that's the other thing. Production doesn't necessarily matter. Jay Monty's very lyrical. He doesn't rap on boom bap. C4 is very lyrical. He raps on very gritty stuff. YP is very lyrical. Dre Murray's very lyrical. All of GOM's very lyrical. They rap on different types of production. So you just got to know what to look for. But lyricism doesn't mean you're going to sound like Kendrick Lamar per se. Lyricism doesn't mean that you're always using big words that people don't know the meaning of. Lyrical means the lyrics matter. You can tell that they matter when you're listening. You can tell there's a creative use of the words, sentences, of each line, not wasted. It doesn't mean you can't ever have fun or like have lines that maybe are not necessarily integral, but like when you listen to a verse, you should be like, yo, I really kind of got something out of that, and the words really matter. They did this creatively. They did this uniquely. This was creative writing, right? Communication major. But I hope that makes some sense. And again, I'm not trying to act like I have all this super deep knowledge. I've just been rapping for a while, and I've been listening to rap for a while and reviewing rap for a while. And so it's interesting just to hear people say there's not a lot of lyricism. Like, there's tons of lyricism. It just depends on what it is you specifically like when it comes to lyricism. What version of lyricism or what lyrical things do you look for? What creative kind of things in raps do you look for? But I promise you can find it. There's more out there than you think. So hope that gives y'all some insight. This might be the last thing I talk about when it comes to, or the last time I talk about this. I don't know if I ever made it clear, but like I think Jackie just was surprised by the question. I also think that she might not be super tapped into CHH because she hasn't been rapping in a while. She's been doing a lot of outside stuff. You got to really keep up with CHH, especially the non-signed indie people, to really know what CHH is like as a whole. If you don't have time to do that, that's understandable. So hope you guys rock with what I had to say. If you guys have any thoughts, please leave them in the comments. I appreciate y'all a ton. All right, truly do. Stay lyrical. Like and subscribe if you haven't. Praise God. Pray.